inside this box is a brand new Onewheel Pint X. And today I'm gonna open it, learn how to ride it, try to make it nosedive, and tell you what I think as a die-hard electric unicycle rider. This week, the Pint X and my fall to the dark side. Is it at least the dark side of fun?
Oh, the pain of being rejected from hell. Oh, it's painful, so I love it. Thank you.
Roll the intro! Like and subscribe and hit that bell icon to be notified of new videos, and we'll be BFF forever.
Let your children.
So this is what I usually ride, the Gotway Monster V3 with a mod 2460 watt-hour battery pack, which is roughly 8 times the size of the battery on the Pint X. It also carries a 2500 watt motor with a top speed of roughly 40 miles per hour as compared to 750 watt motor and a top speed of maybe 18 miles per hour. So why did I spend $1,500 of my hard-earned dollar on this slow poke of a wheel? Because it isn't just about performance and specification. Remember there was this thing that we did when we were little called fun? I heard you need some kind of special knife for unboxing, so I found a handmade folding knife I bought when I was in Japan a bunch of years ago. Hopefully that will do the job. And there was a part of me that was a little bit tired of the BS that we have to deal with in the electric unicycle world. Excruciatingly long wait time that we would have to endure every time we would order a new electric unicycle. I mean, I placed the order for this Pint X during Black Friday, and here it is a week later. Amazing. Ooh, it's very well packed. Usually for us EUC rider, it's putting our pre-order money down and then wait. The smell of fresh rubber. Little to no news of when our order would actually ship. An instruction manual printed in English. This is a new one for me. And even when the order does ship, you have to wait for it to clear customs, and given the insanity that is shipping these days, could take weeks. First impression, can I see myself carrying this around? Actually, there's more opening we have to do because I participated in the ritual bloodletting that is the Black Friday sale. Future Motion tossing a $75 mudguard to let me know what a good little consumer I have been. And I bought red guardrail. Really? This thing is $75? It does feel relatively durable. First impression is very positive. Plastic definitely seeing much higher qualities than the one that we typically get on electric unicycle.
It's beautiful.
The tolerance seems tighter also. Tire is really wide. I have a 9-bot Z10, which actually has one of the widest tire amongst all the electric unicycle, and it's 3-inch wide, and this is a full inch wider than even that. Let's be good little PV rider and charge it up to full before we take it off. I also briefly turn it on just to make sure that it actually works. And I see the light blinking, so I'm gonna assume that maybe I need to download the app in order for it to make it work. By the way, I had intentionally avoided watching any video to keep my opinion unadulterated. Let's put the easy to learn cling to the test. While we wait, I wanted to talk about why I bought the Pint X instead of waiting for the Onewheel GT as my friend Mario Contino has suggested. Yes, I know that the GT is likely torquier and a little bit faster, as well as have significantly more range than the Pint X. It also has a wider wheel, is more stable, and probably easier to learn on. Thing is, coming from the electric unicycle side of things, remember 2500 watt and 40 miles per hour, I've been a bit spoiled when it comes to power and speed, so I suspect that a little bit of boost that you would get from going with a GT instead of the Pint X likely isn't going to register as much with me. And the thing that I'm most interested in, of course, is whether or not this would feel anything like snowboarding. It's a little bit past 4, but the sun is already heading down, so I'm gonna see if I can get some practice run in and maybe see if I can make it out. Alright, if you have never enjoyed the luxurious interior of a New York City project hallway, now is your opportunity to take it all in as you watch me flail around hopelessly on the... Alright, I decided that I am ready for the deadly streets of New York City. I brought my wrist guard just in case. I felt confident enough after about 15 minutes of hallway practices, certainly quite a bit quicker than the electric unicycle learning process I went through, and although I continue to have some problem with getting on the board. Alright, I see the blue light, and both sides has to be before it'll... And being a little bit wobbly on the corners, it wasn't bad for my first run. My second day of practice went just as smoothly. Man, it's gotten really cold. There was still a little bit of wobbliness when it comes to mounting and dismounting the board, still trying to figure out how to best work with that pressure pad up front. I was able to start linking turns and toss in some practice emergency brake towards the end of the session. And I was also quickly getting a bit bored of the playground, figured that for my next run, I probably could get a little bit more adventurous. Over the holiday weekend, taking advantage of the empty streets devoid of the usual insanity that is New York City, I figure it's the perfect chance for me to take my maiden street ride on the Onewheel. First thing I noticed was that once I am out of the safe confine of the smooth playground surfaces, the Onewheel Pint does seem to wobble a good bit more in response to the uneven or wavy surfaces of the street. Remind me of the Z10, which shares similar characteristics. I wasn't particularly concerned since with more practices, you can usually compensate for the wobbles. However, same as the Z10, the reduced stability does mean that higher speed probably gets sketchy very fast. Riding the Onewheel does utilize a slightly different set of muscle group, and I quickly found my rear foot getting sore after about 20 minutes of ride. Again, something that will likely go away with more practices. The significantly weaker motor is very noticeable. The pedal on the EUC is usually very stiff, with any weaknesses immediately identified as sign of troubles, especially at higher speed. But for the Onewheel, that looseness seems to be an accepted part of the ride feel, which also means that it is quite easy to induce a nosedive, as it doesn't take much to overcome this small motor. Even this tiny level change, not even an inch tall, requires that I build up a bit of speed just to roll over it. I did get comfortable enough towards the end to start practicing shifting my weight a bit so as to loosen up my stance, as well as practicing carving a bit more. And yes, the stance is similar, but no, it doesn't feel anything like snowboarding since there are no edge on the board for you to lean into. So far? Well, the Onewheel is obviously vastly underpowered by electric unicycle standard, and whether or not that is a problem, I think really depends on your perspective. If you wanted to use it as a transport for a commute of any sort, I really still think that an electric unicycle is a far better option from both the perspective of convenience as well as performances. However, if you want an interesting toy that lets you experience a very different kind of ride experience, the Onewheel isn't any more or less fun as compared to an electric unicycle. It is just different. At the end of the day, I do find myself wanting to ride the Onewheel again just to experience its strangely compelling floaty ride feel. I still can't quite figure out why, but does it really matter? So is the Onewheel an underpowered, outdated toy, or are the EUC riders simply missing the whole point of the ride? Well, that is what the comment section below is for. And you know what? Aha! I somehow managed to trick you into wasting another 15 minutes of your life, but I hope you enjoyed it. Shout out to my supporter on Patreon. Please check out the link in the video description below if you enjoy and like to support my work. And as always, as much as we all love electric unicycle and Onewheel, the only way for us to get better wheels is to grow as a community. So tell your friend, teach them how to ride, and get them hooked. Until the next video, thank you.